My next guest, Tommy Aiello from the National Taxpayers Union. Tommy, good to have you back on the program.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
All right, so Joe Biden expanded this premium tax credit. You say it's too costly to extend, and Congress should just say, yeah, no, we don't want this. Time to move on. Why is it? Well, First of all, what is it? And where do we want to get rid of it? Why do we want to get rid of it? Go ahead.
Sure. So the premium tax credit was established under Obamacare. Basically, it's a tax credit for when you purchase insurance through the Obamacare exchanges. And what we've seen since that law was passed is healthcare costs and premiums specifically have gone through the roof. That's because there's too much government involvement in the healthcare markets. So what President Biden did in 2021 as part of his COVID relief spending spree was said, hey, why don't we just expand this credit to people who are making six figures? You have people that are making over $100,000 claiming this credit, and it's about $5,000 a person. So that credit was expanded under Joe Biden in 2021. It was extended in 2022, and it expires at the end of this year. So we have a real good opportunity to take an axe to a major Obamacare subsidy. It costs about $80 billion a year. And if we let it expire at the end of this year, we would be saving about $30 billion a year. That's a lot of money.
$30 billion. All right. So it was called the Affordable Care Act, Tommy. The Affordable Care Act. What did it have to do with affordability?
Yeah. The only affordable part is that it's made it more unaffordable. And I think when we look at this credit in particular, it is ripe with fraud. About 1 out of every $10 is the subject of waste, fraud, and abuse. It's about $5 billion every single year to people that are claiming the credit that have no business taking the credit. So we think that there's a good opportunity to let it expire, and let's try and do healthcare reform that's a real repeal and replace as quickly as possible. And, I think when we say this expires at the end of the year, why are we talking about this now? Well, there's a concern that Republicans are going to be working with Democrats in September to try and extend this tax credit, possibly indefinitely. That would be a major mistake. That one, we shouldn't be continue to subsidize Obamacare, and we shouldn't continue a really poor policy enacted by Joe Biden just 4 years ago.
Yeah, it's a policy that continues to cost us money. I don't have the numbers here. I'm thinking maybe you do, and I don't mean to throw you a curveball here, but how many people were without insurance before the so-called Affordable Care Act? Because the one thing that bill didn't do was address affordability on any level that I'm aware of. It was a boon for the insurance companies in many regards. But how many people were uninsured when the Affordable Care Act went through, and how many people are uninsured in America today?
I don't have those numbers on me, but I think the people that did get insurance, they got insurance because they were put on Medicaid exchanges. That's government-sponsored healthcare. And, we want people to obviously have healthcare. We think they should have it through their employer. One, Medicaid is becoming $1 trillion program. So when you add up all of these benefits that are from Obamacare, you have $1 trillion on Medicaid, plus another $80 billion that's taken through the premium tax credit. We think it's just way too much largesse coming from the federal government into the healthcare system. We think a better solution is for government to take a step back and let the private market actually step up, offer insurance, and we actually think it could be done at a more affordable rate than what's been happening. We think the answer is less government involvement in the healthcare space. Unfortunately, our friends on the other side say things are working just great and we need more government involvement in there. And we just don't think that's the right approach.
I don't either. And so it concerns me that some Republicans and Democrats would get behind the idea of extending this. What do people need to do?
Yeah, we think people need to start paying attention. Call your member of Congress and say, I'm watching this. We should not be, one, continuing to subsidize Obamacare, and we should not be continuing COVID-era programs that benefit primarily wealthy people through the premium tax credit. It expires at the end of the year. There's a real opportunity now to let it expire.
All right. Tommy Aiello from the National Taxpayers Union. As always, thank you for being here. I'm sure we'll talk again soon.
Thank you.